efficiency mean?
Right.
And so like I dived into that part of me that I wasn't aware of, because even sometimes now I try to portray what I'd like to be,
Right.
more so than what I actually am.
Sure.
And
Sure.
so that's a big part of why I started the Pep Talk blog, is these little tiny pep talks that I'm giving to myself that hopefully help somebody else as
Right.
well. And I mean, some of it I feel and I believe very strongly, and some of it I'm trying to convince myself of,
yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Like, I tell myself things all the time because, like, if there are any therapy professionals listening to this podcast who would be interested in doing pro bono work, I have no money, but I need to talk to a therapist. So email us, personalgrowthpod@gmail.com, and if you're willing to offer your services for free, I would appreciate it.
Yeah. Get a sponsorship via therapy
Yeah,
sessions.
right? And
I think that would be pretty
we'll
cool.
talk about your practice on the show.
Yeah.
We'll send you referrals.
You can even do one session on the show. Just kidding.
No. There are many things I am not willing to let our listeners be privy to.
Yeah.
If they were, they'd probably stop listening because I'm all fucked up. Anyway.
We're all a little fucked up.
Any hoozlebees. So, yeah, if there's anybody out there who wants to do some charity work, it all benefits the Eric Cole Foundation.
Yeah.
The Eric Cole Preservation Fund, rather.
So the next little characteristic, the big one, I guess it could be, I don't know. It kind of bugs me to read this. Characteristic of an inspirational leader is that they radiate authenticity.
Why does that bug you?
Because, like, I just, it's like, meh, you know? Like, I just don't believe it. Like, whenever somebody, like, if you were to tell me that I radiate authenticity, I'd be like, who are you trying to?
But all that means is that what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? Like, you're just authentically you, and that comes across.
But
like,
saying authentically me is just fucking fluff, man.
Why?
Because it's just another word to describe just you for who you are.
Well, sure, but there are some people who are fake as fuck, and you can tell that when you talk to them or when you interact.
Yeah, but there are some people that are fake as fuck and you can't tell.
That's fair, but they also don't radiate authenticity. Whereas with somebody like you, you know, nobody has to question where they stand with you. You know, you don't make promises, you don't say things just to, like, placate others. You're very forthcoming and very honest, and I think that shows in how you interact with people and how you carry yourself and how you go about your day-to-day dealings with people. So you radiate authenticity in that this is Dwayne. This is who he is, and this is what you see is what you get, and there's no surprises. You know?
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I like the way that you described that. Aside from radiating authenticity,
so it's really just the verbiage.
Yeah, the verbiage. It's like
that you have a problem
I think that more often here straight up, this is what bothers me. There's too many people out there that are throwing words around like authenticity and live your best life that aren't living their best life, and they're not being authentic.
Right.
They're like trying to convert people into dollar signs, and I don't like that.
Well, sure. Yeah.
That fucking bothers the shit out of me.
Yeah, but I mean, this whole thing is, you know, leaders and whatever is, you know, nobody's a CEO of a company because they're not trying to they're not trying to turn people into dollars.
No, I think that's inaccurate, that statement. I think that there are people that are really good at what they do, and they should be compensated for that.
Well, sure.
But
I mean,
that's not like these, in my opinion, could be wrong. A lot of these people that are inspirational leaders are outcome oriented, not income oriented.
Maybe, but nobody starts a business to go broke.
True. I'm just saying that if I get the feeling that you're coming at me because of an income, I'm not going to be inspired by you.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But there are some people, like, whenever I was remember when I was telling you about the multi-level marketing company that I was doing for a little while,
yes.
Primerica?
Yeah.
They had Tuesday night meetings and Friday night meetings, and you'd walk into this room and it had like club music blaring, and they're all like, "We're gonna make millions of dollars, and we're fucking you know." And the theme, like if you listen to people like Tony Robbins and Tom Bilyeu and Tim Ferriss.
Which is interesting that his last name is Bill Yu. Just throwing that
super
out there.
ironic, actually. If you listen to these people, they're all talking about getting into peak states, right?
Like California.
No.
Colorado.
States of mind. Of mind.
Oh, that kind of state, right.
And
of
like
course.
how energy is contagious.
Sure.
And like
that's definitely true.
Being right.
Energy is absolutely contagious. You ever walk into work and everybody's pissed off, and then all of
you
a sudden you're
automatically
fucking angry for no reason?
Yeah, and you're like, I don't even know why, but I'm with everyone in their anger.
Like, yeah, fuck everybody. But why though? Because fuck them. That's why. Like, all right, fuck it. I guess this is what we're doing tonight. We're just gonna be mad at the world.
It's super weird. I mean, I kind of like it and kind of hate it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, I think that a company like Primerica has the right idea, but the way that they're going about it doesn't fit my energy.
Right.
You know the saying, your vibe attracts your tribe?
Sure.
I was talking with my roommate about this afternoon. Like, I'm a person that won't say something unless I have something to say. And there are so many people that are saying things because they want to be heard, not because they want to be taken seriously.
Right. Sure. That makes sense.
So, I don't know. Ramblings of a authentic guy, apparently.
Sure.
But yeah, I think let's skip to the next one.
Sure.
This one I think is hands down one of the most important things to be an inspirational leader.
Skillful communicator. I was just announcing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Being a skillful communicator. And I think that being a skillful communicator, just hearing it, the natural tendency is to think about the ability to speak.
Sure.
And I think that that is accurate. Being able to articulate thought into words is really important when it comes to communicating. But to be able to listen is just as important.
Yeah.
To listen and to be able to know how to ask the right questions.
Yeah, and not all communication is verbal.
True.
There's all different forms of communicate. Like body language is a form of communication.
Mm-hmm.
The way you look at somebody, the way your eye, you know what I mean, like you with your eyes, or like, you
say more with your eyes than you do with your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like there are very many forms of communication, and not everybody has mastered all. I mean, but that that makes me sound like an asshole. So never mind.
What do you mean? What? No. Why does that make you sound like an asshole?
Because I was about to say, not everybody has mastered all the forms of communication. Like, who the fuck am I to make that assumption when I haven't done it either? So I'm not going to talk shit about somebody else.
Well, I don't think it's a. That didn't have to be a matter of talking shit as stating.
That's
an
the way I
observation.
felt. I was communicating it. See what I did? See what I did there?
See
Boom. I felt like I was communicating it like an asshole.
Okay.
There was a better way I could have said it that I don't know how to do because I lack certain communication skills.
Well, let's get to what you're trying to get at.
I don't know what I just, not. It's like some people are better at nonverbal communication than they are at verbal communication, and some people are better at talking than they are at, like what's the what do they say? There's like 5 like love languages. Some people need gifts, and some people need you to say nice things,
quality time.
Yeah, some people like to hold hands and shit like that. So like there's just a whole different, and some people are, some people just aren't good at certain things, and I think you have to. It's always difficult to try to find where your communication and their communication sync up.
Yeah,
so that you can have because you can, you could be interested in the same thing. Like, what am I trying to say? See, again, I'm not that great at communicating.
It's okay. Let's get there. It'll be okay. We're not in a hurry.
No, it's just, like I said, you have to try to, and some people are hard to read, so you can't, like I like to think of myself as a good judge of people, and, I feel like I can get a read on almost anybody.
And when you say read, are we talking like vibrationally or energetically or like thought process, like mind reading?
Not like mind reading, but like I have, so like my sister, for example, I know exactly how she's feeling at any given moment just because of either the look on her face or the way she said something. Even over the phone, I can tell what her state of mind is.
Because you can hear it in her voice, her facial features.
And like I know how to read her. Granted, she's my sister, and I've known her
for
my entire life.
Yeah.
But like, I even have friends. Like, for example, Dustin Shalafo, who we have to get on this show one day.
Absolutely, we do.
Gifted comic and one of my best friends in the whole world.
An amazing rap artist, too.
Oh, my God, he's fantastic. But, like, I can read him.
I love it when he raps to me.
He's fantastic. But, yeah,
Some
like,
of the
I know.
shit that he says? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't know how his mind works. Like, he's somebody who has mastered multiple forms of communication. Like, he's just, I don't have enough nice things to say. I have too many nice things to say about Dustin Shalafo. But, like, he doesn't even have to say anything to me. And I know exactly where to get him to, like, put him in a better mood, or, like, if he needs to be left alone. Right. And it's just...
He kind of wears his energy on his sleeves for sure, too.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But there are also, like, other little subtle things that, like, I don't know, that you pick up on being around a person.
What is that? Are those called idiosyncrasies?
Yes. Yes, that's the word. Idiosyncrasies. So, it's, which is why I think, a lot of relationships don't work, because people don't know how to communicate the way their partner needs them to communicate. And so,
like having the ability to effectively communicate negative stuff in a way that doesn't make the other person disengage.
Sure, but also to communicate positive stuff too.
Well, yeah. I mean, and that's being able to communicate positive things is generally the best stuff to do, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And the stuff that's not so easy to talk about is the stuff that we need more practice on.
Sure.
Like,
but there are also people who don't do well with positive communication. Like, they don't know how to. Like, have you ever
taking positive feedback?
Yeah, have you ever complimented somebody and they go, no, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with you as much as it does to do with them.
Exactly, but that's the thing is so if I'm a person who wants to compliment somebody, but they're not a person who can take a compliment, then I have to figure out another way to let them know that, like, I'm a fan of what they're doing.
But do you
know what I mean? If I want to spread positivity, then yes.
Okay.
If I don't give a shit, then I don't care. But, like...
Well, yeah.
I forgot what my original point was.
I don't remember either, necessarily. Aside from, like, knowing certain people and knowing how to interact with them because you've known them for longer.
Yeah, but even people that I don't know, like, I'll see people who come in to the club to see the show, and 9 times out of 10, I can say that guy's going to be a fucking problem. Yeah. And then he ends up being a problem. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of a thing where, like, you can just pick up on stuff just based on the way a person's carrying themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that there's, at least for me, way more often I pick up on those things energetically rather than body language. I mean, sure. I feel that I can read body language pretty well most of the time, but it's more about how they make me feel.
Right.
And honestly, like, body language has a tendency to affect how a person feels too, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, posture, if they're slouching or if they're, like, let's say you've got pain in your back and you're holding yourself in a way that makes that be physically